Yeah, thank you. I'll be interested if your son wants to get a job in the National Security Division when he reaches adulthood. You commented about the rule of law sets us apart, and it's a great concern that my constituents have. Many of them come up to me now, average people, good citizens of America, and they say, why do we have a two-tier justice system in America? And one of those, part of the reason they say that is Russia collusion proved to be the biggest hoax perhaps in the history of the United States. Do you think it's acceptable to have an executive law enforcement agency actively engage in sabotaging a political candidate? Think Comey, Strzok, Page, McCabe.
The Justice Department, it's been my experience, having been there for 20 years, 18 years, almost 20 years, but 18 years of time as a career prosecutor and attorney, that in every case, we prosecute cases based on the facts and the law, and there's not
Are you embarrassed
a motivation involving politics or ideology.
We know what the truth is now, that it was a hoax. Does that embarrass you as someone who has served in this position of great trust of the American people? Does that embarrass you that you had 4 people in upper leadership, penultimate leadership? Does that embarrass you that we had those people in that position?
As a career prosecutor, my experience consistently has been that we take action based on facts, evidence, and the law, and we do not act in the Justice Department based on ideology or politics.
The department, clearly they did. The department appointed Susan Hennessy to a senior position with the National Security Division. She's been an outspoken and partisan critic. For example, she extensively commented on the FBI investigation into the allegations that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, during which she quoted relentlessly and hyped Russia collusion allegations. Ms. Hennessy vouched that Christopher Steele, author of the dossier filled with political opposition research and Russian disinformation, was a person whose work intelligence professionals take seriously. Are you aware of that statement by Ms. Hennessy?
So I'm not going to comment on any members of the workforce of my
Ms.
division.
Hennessy was also a
National
vocal
Security Division.
critic of the U.S. Attorney John Durham's investigation into the targeting of the Trump campaign and transition team, even calling the investigation partisan silliness. Are you aware of that statement?
So I'm not going to comment about any of the
She
particular
works
members
for
of my
you.
division.
Are you aware of that statement?
I'm not going to comment on the work of anyone in my division in particular. What I can tell you is that I hold everyone to the highest standards of legal capability and ethics, and I include Ms. Hennessy.
Okay, you bring up the issue of ethics. Do you agree that because this investigation is ongoing and in her new role, Ms. Hennessy may exert supervisory functions over this investigation, her previous statement seriously undercuts any perception of her impartiality?
So it's my responsibility as the head of the National Security Division to ensure that everyone in the division follows the rules, and those include the rules of ethics, and I'm confident that I am able to do that, and I'm also confident
Ms.
in the
Hennessy
integrity
Ms. Hennessy deleted tens of thousands of statements on her Twitter account prior to announcing her new position working for your division. Are you aware of that?
I'm absolutely confident in the capabilities and the integrity of Ms. Hennessy.
Do you agree that erasing her past controversial statements about national security matters and hide her political bias raises concerns about a department employee? I mean, would you be concerned? Take Ms. Hennessy's name off from the conversation here, and it is a generic person. Would that concern you as someone hiring these people?
So I'm confident.
Tens of thousands of Twitter posts that are anti-president?
I'm confident in the integrity of the workforce of the National Security Division. I was there when we started the National Security Division in 2006. I spent 3 years as a senior career official there. I returned there in 2021. I have utmost confidence in the excellence and the integrity of that workforce.
So you're not going to remove her. Has Ms. Hennessy recused herself from the Durham investigation?
I'm not going to comment on any particular
Has
members
Ms.
of my
Hennessy
workforce.
received authorization to access any aspect of the Durham investigation?
Not going to comment on any particular members of my workforce. As I will repeat, I have the utmost confidence in the overall integrity
So
and
can we
competence
find out
of my workforce.
as an oversight authority in the Congress of the United States, can we find out if she is exercising that authority? You're not going to tell me here today. Do I have a way to be able to find out if she's going to squelch the Durham investigation?
I'm not going to comment on specific members of the workforce. I can tell you that I have the utmost confidence in every single person who works within the National Security Division.
Gentleman's time has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentlewoman from North Carolina.